Today we're going to do some product photography using just one light. Hi, I'm Mick Sadler and we're going to use one light to do some product photography, which will give you some can give you some more dramatic results. Where one light on a stand which is standing on the floor, and you can have a tabletop light if you want to. The bulb's daylight bulb, 500, 400 to 500, 600K, and it's in a 26cm reflector. You need to keep the ambient light to a minimum as it will affect the images. So we're going to turn off some of the ambient light now and just leave enough for the shots. We've reduced the ambient light to a minimum, leaving enough light hopefully for the video. We're going to use different apertures to show you what different results you can get. The camera's a 650D and it's got a 24x70 lens, and we have it set on a tripod, and we're using a remote control to the camera to reduce any camera shake. We're on 50mm and it's on a crop sensor, so on a full frame it's would be about 80cm. We've got a piece of white card here as our background, and that can be bought from any art shop. We have a glass, which is our subject. It's quite difficult shooting glass, and we're going to start in aperture priority and show you what, until we dial in the exposure, what we can get. We're going to focus, and once we're focused, we're going to switch the lens to manual to keep the focus fixed. This is the first shot. Because of the large area of white, it needs some exposure compensation, so we're using +1 stop of exposure compensation. Now we can see the next shot is better exposed, and we can see the small depth of field using f2.8s. Well, we've dialed in the exposure now to give us the exposure in manual, so we're on an 80th of a second at f2.8. We're now going to take a shot with f16. This is a much greater depth of field. By moving the light at different angles, then you can change how the image looks. We're now going to use some black foam core and some of these Gorilla clamps to mask off some of the light so that it doesn't hit the full background, so you get like a vignetted effect, and we'll show you what this looks like. So we've now got the black foam core set up, and you can see it's just shading the background, and we're still on f2.8 here, and we'll show you what that gives you. And really that sort of gives a more dramatic feel than just being on a plain white background. We've now placed the foam core either side of the glass, and this is just to give a sort of something that reflected off the glass. You'll see the difference. The black actually comes into the glass and is sort of reflected up into it. We're going to shoot with a black background now, and we're just going to put this bit of foam core up just to show you what using a black background does. We've now changed the product, and we've got a solid object, and we're leaving the glass behind. We've still got the one light coming from this side. We've got a piece of foam core now, a white foam core, and we just stuck a clamp on the back just to stand it up. And first of all, we're going to take a picture of this without a reflector. And now we're going to put this reflector in quite close and take another picture. There is something to be said for moving light around a bit, but we're going after sort of semi-dramatic and slightly different take on product photography. You can see the difference between those two shots. The second shot is a lot better. We've now moved the reflector in a lot closer. So it's just out of shot, and we're going to take a shot of this now. So as you can see, that's even better. So this is just one light from the side. We can move this around a little bit to alter things up, but really that's the nature of product photography. It's what you want to achieve. Right, thanks for watching. We're going to go take these few images over to Lightroom, the glass and this latest product, and see what we can do. If you don't like Lightroom, well, thanks very much for watching. And we have got other product photography videos on our channel, so please have a look. And if you're coming over to Lightroom, we'll see you there. Hi, welcome to Lightroom, and we're recording this segment using ScreenFlow. And that's because of Eric Renault, who produced a great little tutorial on ScreenFlow, and it was better than what we was using, so here we go. So we've got a few pictures here in the library. I'm going to start with the first one, and we're going to go over to highlight. We're going to highlight that, and then we're going to go over to the develop module. And in the develop module, we're going to alter a few things. We're going to come up and we're going to make this a little bit lighter. We're going to write about a third of a stop. We're going to, because it's a glass and we want spectral highlights, we're going to increase this. And if we click on the slider on the whites and then press the Alt key down and move the slider, you can see it brings up the whites. We don't want the white in the background, so we just move it back, so we just got the spectral highlights. Okay, before I forget, we're going to make this black and white. So we go up here and click that, and because the glass is basically mono, that stops anything from reflecting from in the room. So we're going to increase the clarity now. Let's take that up to about 30. Increase that. I'm also going to increase the contrast a little bit. We're going to take that up to 20. We're going to give this a bit more in the midtones, and we can go up here, and this is the midtone area, and we can hold the mouse key down and drag to the left, and you can see this will increase the midtones. I'm going to take it down a little bit, just like that. And we're going to go down to the Detail tab, and we can do some sharpening. We're going to do a bit of sharpening. We're going to increase that. And if we press the Alt key down and use the masking slider, and everything that goes black is not going to be sharpened, but everything that stays white is going to be sharp. So there, we've increased that a little bit. Just notice there's a few marks around the bottom here. So we can go up to this little tool up here and click that. And make sure that this is on the healing. We can come down and just take care of these little spots, and it works exactly the way it does in Photoshop. It heals. There's a big blob up there. With our bracket keys on our keyboard, we can increase, so we can take that whole blob out there. And again, that's taken care of those. So we're going to close this now. We can have a look at what it was like before. So I'm going to click the / key, and this is what we had before. This is what we got now. So that's an awful lot more vibrant and better for a product shot. We're now going to go on to our second image, and I'm going to hold Shift key down and click this, because this second image we want to sync. So we've got the sync. We go to check none. None are checked, but what we want to sing across is the basic tone, which is exposure, highlights, the clarity, and also the treatment. So we're going to synchronize that, and that will then take this, all the settings from that previous one to this. And if I just do the / again, you'll see where we was, and the sync settings have done that. So we can come up here and crop this. So We unclick this little padlock, and we're gonna, whoops, we don't want to do that. I'm going to reset that. We're going to bring the crop in on both sides and bring this up. And we're more or less symmetrical there, so we double click, and that is give us our image. We've got some marks on the glass here, which we don't know whether they're marks or dust or what, or reflections. Again, we're going to use this little tool here, make sure we're on healing. Use our bracket D to close this down and just draw along it. And again, with that one, there's a little mark up here. And that's sorted those out. So we're going to close that now. And this looks a bit bright in this area. So what we're going to do is take this brush, and if we click down here, we can show where the brush goes. We're going to make the feather a bit more, and with on 100 density and 100 flow, and we're just in here, and you can see where the brush goes. We're going to brush in like that. Let's switch that off. And what we can do is we're going to slightly make this slightly darker. I'm also going to increase the highlights. So that's brought that down. So if we click this thing here, we can see where we was and where we are now. So we've made that into a nicer image. So again, this is where we started. This is where we ended up. So quite a big difference. Right, we're now going to go over to the library, and you can click on the above library there, or just press G. That will take you to a grid view. Now we're going to click on this first one, and it is the one without the reflector. I'm going to click down here on X and Y, so we can see the one with a reflector, and then which is on the right, and the one without a reflector. So then we actually brought the reflector in even closer, and that's it now on the left. And so you can see that's even lighter. So we're going to go into the develop module now. We're going to take the one with the reflector close up. So first of all, what we're going to do, the exposure looks quite nice, and you look at the histogram, there's a little gap there. So the histogram isn't looking too bad, but we're going to zing this up a little bit. So we're going to open the shadows by about 30. We're going to click on the Alt key and see where the whites are, and you can see that the white balance is pretty good as it stands. We do the same with the blacks, and you can see we just want to bring in that so there's a bit of shape to that there. We're going to up the clarity a little bit just to give that a bit of sharpening, and now we're going to take the exposure down a touch just to brighten things up a little bit. So that's all we've done. There's more we can do. We can go up and we can crop that now, and we can unlock this, and we're going to crop this in, and this could go on any website at all. So we double click that. We can now hit the backslash key to see where we was. So this is where we was, and this is where we are now. Quite a big difference. If that's slightly too saturated for you, we can come up into here, into the saturation slider, and just move this back a little bit, just to ease it up a little bit. And also we can use the gradient tool. Now if we put a gradient on this side, because this side is slightly darker, so what we're going to do is take the exposure down a touch, just to match those two sides up, and close that off, and there we are. Thanks for watching. If there's any comments you can make, please make some comments, or any videos you want to see. And if anyone's interested in product photography, please pass this along to them. And we'll see you next time.